The Warriors and Lakers. What an interesting series so far, as even though we're one game in, it was a hell of a game, and we can see a lot of things which are probably going to come from this series. And the first game said a lot about a lot of things. First, that the Warriors couldn't outshoot their way into winning against the Lakers. You know, the Warriors sometimes will just have tremendous shooting nights and they'll just outshoot their opponent. Like yesterday, they shot 21 from 53 from 3-point percentage, shooting 40% from three, but they didn't win the game, even though they made the same amount of field goals as the Lakers. And this shows how the Warriors want to play the game. They want to be aggressive. They want to attack their opponents. They want to be on top of everything. But it really did backfire on them, especially when you have guys who they sent to the free throw line so much, who should have not been going that much, like Dennis Schroeder, right? Excluding the last two free throws of the game, which basically just sealed the game. He went to the free throw line 7 times. Dennis Schroeder's a point guard, and he's short, and he's strong enough for his position, but he's not like he's bulky. It's not like you have to foul him. Anthony Davis, that's one of the guys that he's just going to get fouls because they're going to foul him so much, right? But it's like even a guy like LeBron. LeBron got 4 free throws, and LeBron was playing really passively. Most of his clutch buckets were jump shots. Most of the shots he took in regulation were jump shots or wide open layups, right? And even when Jordan Poole fouled him really hard, like that, like he wasn't even trying to be that aggressive. It's just that they built a wall in front of him, and they were like, it's either we're gonna foul or we're gonna let him score, right? So they obviously opted to foul. I believe that some people who I do want to give a shout out to on both sides, it's obviously Steph Curry. Even though a lot of people are going to say he had a bad game, it's like, no, he didn't. He had a really great game. If you watch the game, he was making clutch shots. He was putting the Warriors in rhythm, especially in the fourth quarter. But I do think that one man cannot beat a team, right? And I do believe that that's what was happening, where it was like it was him and Wiggins just going at them and trying to make stuff happen in the fourth quarter. I want to say shout out to Draymond Green. I know that a lot of people give him a lot of slack, right, because of the way that he plays the game, but he was making a lot of plays. He was holding the ball a lot. And of course he did get a triple single, but I do believe that if you actually watch the game, that he was setting up his teammates very well. I want to say also shout out to Kevon Looney. He got a double-double, but instead of getting more points, he got 23 rebounds and 10 points. And 5 assists. He had a phenomenal game. He was efficient, but I do believe that Kevon Looney is one of those guys who doesn't really get that well against really good defenders, right? Like against really good big men, right? Strong big men. He has problems with those because even though he can rebound a lot, but that's purely because of hustle. Like he doesn't really do well when it comes to like playing the way that he normally does, which is just get it, pass it out, because a regular big man, you could see that it makes him more tired, even if he played like he just played 29 minutes this game. I do want to say shout out to the Lakers. Of course, they are going to have to do something about these minutes that they run, because as much as I like them winning games, you need your guys ready for the finals if you want to make it. And you cannot be playing AD 44 minutes, even though he looked great all throughout it and he never looked real. Like he looked gassed, but he definitely looked good. And that's the next person I want to talk about. I just want to say that Anthony Davis is absolutely insane. He is proving himself as one of the best players in the NBA. He's been healthy, and he's been leading the Lakers to wins, because really LeBron, you could tell that he's putting a notch back on his game just so that his team could do better, right? And that's not to say like, oh, LeBron's playing badly, so I'm going to excuse him. But it's like you could tell that LeBron is not trying to like be in control of the game. He's trying to win the games, but not through not through like absolutely dropping 38, 8 and 8 and hitting the game winner, right? Even though that's a great game, they're winning games without him doing that. But Anthony Davis is really taking up the challenge. Also, I want to say shout out to Jared Vanderbilt because even though the box score doesn't say it, he was the best defender in this game. He only played 26 minutes, but that was because he was so gassed by the end of the second quarter that they had to sub him out for most of the third and for a big part of the fourth, just because he was just running with Steph. And I mean, like, actually running with him, getting in his face, making Steph miss shots, right? Like, I want to say shout out to Jared Vanderbilt. Shout out to D'Angelo Russell for that tough ass layup that he hit, which was basically in my opinion, the game winner. That was like the shot that sealed it, right, for the Lakers, because the Warriors were going on a run, and as soon as he hit that, it was like, okay, calm down, we're still up. I want to say shout out to Austin Reeves because he was having a pretty bad game, but then he picked it up when he needed to the most. When like his team was on a rhythm, he hit 2 threes, and he was playing well, honestly, like after the third quarter forward. And I want to say shout out to Dennis Schroeder. Even though in the final quarter he didn't play as well, his defense is always insane. Like, it's always really good. And also to Troy Brown because he hit a three-pointer in the right corner, which I liked a lot because it was in rhythm. It helped them put them back in the game, and that was one of the shots that they needed just so that they would be like, so they wouldn't trail. I do want to say that like Rui didn't play enough minutes. Like, he went perfect from the field, perfect from the free throw line. Of course, he only got 6 points because he only made 2 shots and 2 free throws. But I feel like a guy like him and Troy Brown, and even a guy, I mean, he's streaky, but maybe Malik Beasley or Lonnie Walker, you need to give one of these guys minutes because honestly, AD getting played that much is a problem. LeBron getting played that much is especially a problem. And I know that they can handle it, but I just wouldn't risk an injury like we saw what happened with Jimmy Butler and the Heat lost game 2. So I wouldn't risk an injury. But if this is what it takes for them to win, then I guess so. With that being said, I do want to say that I want to say shout out to Darvin Ham. No one believed in him, and people thought that Frank Vogel was the problem. And I understand that he has a new team around him, but really, I can't, like, us as fans and people, we can't say, like, oh, it's because he has a new team. And it's like, yeah, this team is better, but, like, really, we have to look at the result of their coaching and what that did. And I do want to say that Darvin Ham has been pushing this team to wins, right? And finally, I just want to say Jordan Poole had a great game, but that last 3 was insane. I saved him for last, you know. By the way, with Clay, he was hitting big shots in big moments, and especially in the end of the quarter, he started playing better. But I just think that, you know, he wasn't really that this game. He was good enough to put them in runs, but he wasn't good enough to, you know, seal a game for them. And Jordan Poole, he was having a phenomenal game. Like, if you actually watch the game, he was tearing the Lakers up. He was hitting clutch shots. He had that one 4-point play, and he had so many scoring, like so many shots from 3, which just made the Lakers have to panic on offense and on defense. And I do want to say that he was playing a great game, but I do believe that, you know, maturity and the fact that even though he is a champion, he is still young, I do believe that that has to do. Shout out to Gary Payton for dunking on Anthony Davis, even though, you know, I didn't like it because I really like Anthony Davis. But I do want to say that shout out to the Lakers for winning this game. Shout out to them for actually, you know, like trying a lot and playing hard and not letting anything right, like defeat their spirit. And I also want to say shout out to Anthony Davis because he really was a superstar this game. 4 blocks, by the way.